Hello. Hi. Oh my goodness. I haven't had to stream on YouTube other than our tests. So let me change the title here. Um, I don't know. Oh look, there's a description too. I should probably change that too. Hmm. I was so focused on my end of the things that I did not look at the YouTube side of things. Usually, whenever I stream by myself, it's to Facebook, and it's just like in a test context. Let's see. What did it say? It was art stream. Um, we'll just leave it at that for now. And put that down there. Um, join our artist. Excuse me. Anyway, don't know what's going on. Anyway, so now the title's changed, the description's updated to be a little bit more reflective of what I intend to be doing here. Let's get into it. So, hello. In case you aren't aware, my name is Lucas Montana. I'm the artist for Fabled Court, and tonight I've invited you to join in and observe as I work on some artwork for one of our upcoming kits. I actually have the live stream up on my phone right now, and I'm hoping to use it to monitor chat since I don't want to tax my computer too much. I'm not entirely for sure what it is actually capable of handling at the moment, and that is unfortunate, I guess. But anyway, so I'm gonna put on some music here. This is from I'm not for sure what to call it, DMCA free playlist created by YouTuber Harris Heller for just this kind of occasion. And I'm gonna try some synthwave. Let me know if it's too loud. I did a few tests beforehand to make sure that it wasn't. Anyway, so we're gonna jump over to. I was hung up trying to get my shortcuts for OBS set up so that I could change my scenes from camera to tablet to whatever without having to go back into OBS. However, those shortcuts did not want to play nice with Photoshop. And I was trying to hunt down where those particular shortcuts that I was trying to set up were. I was unsuccessful. That sucks. Anyway, we'll figure. But let's get to the drawing. Oops, not that one. Okay. So we got a scene, or we got our document set up here. This is how I usually draw our artwork. And so each of these lines represents a particular field. And what was our work? So this one is mostly done. Okay, looks like we're on this view for a minute. This one's mostly done. There's some things that I still need to do to it to give it some depth, some life, some energy. But we'll come back. So... just looking at some descriptions here. I wish I would have picked something out beforehand. I think this one is where we're going. Zoom in here so I can get a good look at my canvas. Some references pulled up on the side. I'm bringing those up. So, when I set up the document, I put in the descriptions like this so that I could reference them here instead of having to go back constantly toward a design document that we have that has all these written out. Okay. So I don't see a specific reference for the small desk. That's fine. We can come up with something. Which is actually good, because I don't have to keep on looking back. So I do use a lot of references for my work. I'm going to use a sharp pencil, which is just one of the default Kyle brushes that comes with Photoshop, at least as I understand it. So I'm going to hide the descriptions so I can draw. Make sure my brush is the right size. The colors are set up. All right, so how do I want this to look? So I'm not going to be too precious about this because I have a deadline and I got to get this stuff done. So it's supposed to be a small desk sitting in front of a bookshelf. But what I see when I think about that is a writing desk, or maybe more appropriately, or more what's its face? I imagine a drafting table, something that's sitting at an angle, at a slope. But I see that in my mind, but I don't know if I've seen that in other places. So, we'll just see what comes out. Actually, probably not a drafting table. Although I suppose you could put the ink on a flat surface nearby while you're writing. Maybe it is just a flat desk. Hmm. Let's see. Someone is likely to pull a book from like bookshelf, turn around, and then sit at it. Don't know. Oh, so let me explain the lines real quick. So the red is going to eventually be is called the bleed. The blue is where the sticker, the full box would be cut out, and then the green is. So from my production days, it was called a live area, and you don't want any important elements to go beyond that. So anything that I deem important to the composition, I don't want to be outside of this green box. But anything that I want on the sticker itself needs to be within the blue line. I'm just kind of roughing a quill there. Don't know exactly what kind of shape I want this ink pot to take. I said I wasn't going to be precious with it, but so far I've only been precious with it. So I just drew a book last night. It was awesome. By awesome, I'm being facetious. I was up really late last night trying to get some artwork done. I thought today was going to be really bad, or I thought it was going to suck because I didn't get much sleep. It was actually okay. Imagine that someone sitting at this and writing with a quill is going to have I want to say unique chair, but I don't imagine it would be unique, but I think it would be distinctive. So I've actually been drawing most of my life. I don't remember all of it, so I couldn't tell you when, for how long. But I can tell you what my mom always tells everybody is that by the time I was 2 years old, I was drawing with strictly black crayons, and that she would go around finding buying a bunch of crayons just so that I had new black crayons to draw with. And I do have sketchbooks, not really sketchbooks, but like notebooks, just like regular notebooks filled with some drawings. I believe they are from when I was 6 years old. I am focusing a lot on this book. So maybe one day I'll share that, but there's no immediate plans to do so. some truly wild stuff in there. And I do not have any memories from any of it, so I couldn't tell you what I was thinking. I tend to get hung up on details. That's fun. So how do I make this bookshelf look like it's in the back? Oh, well, we have a book here in the foreground. So just make sure they are smaller than that one. There'll be some other stuff that I'll do in the coloring phase. What kind of stuff did I draw? It's been a minute since I've looked in the thing, in that particular book that I'm referring to. But one of them was I can only describe as a kind of cyborg raptor. I was super into dinosaurs and super into RoboCop. Still am. Well, RoboCop anyway. I mean, whoever really gets out of dinosaurs, right? But I didn't keep up with it, so I don't remember any of it. But there was once upon a time when I wanted to be a paleontologist, as I assume and imagine a lot of kids wanted to do. So it occurs to me that these bookshelves are actually segmented. Or specifically, I want to make them segmented, and then that will help break up some of the background. So I'm holding the shift key while dragging my cursor to draw perfectly vertical lines. I doubt that I'll do it on this particular one because of the nature of its squareness. But I can rotate the canvas to change the angle of the lines. And if you happen to see, I believe it was on Instagram, one of the time lapses for my drawing of one of the full boxes for the Loki kit, or the Mischief kit. It was Mischief, right? I have it nearby. I'd have to dig it out real quick. But while I was drawing that, you might have noticed that the canvas rotated a few times. And that was specifically so that I could draw parallel lines quickly. So some of my favorite things to draw is actually people, characters. I like designing their outfits, trying to come up with stories for who they are, why they are that way. Encoding overloaded. I'm not for sure what that means. I mean, I feel like it's pretty straightforward. What I mean that I don't know what it means is that I haven't seen any significant errors come from it. So the line by itself doesn't tell me much. I saw it while I was recording videos for those time lapses. And the first time I saw it, I immediately stopped the recording and went to go review it. So I actually record in a newer format, which is like an open file type or something. I'm not entirely for sure what that means, but it means that it is a much more stable file that is not going to corrupt if there's some kind of issue during the encoding process. This is for one of our upcoming kits. I did not ask if it was okay if I said what it was for, but I feel like it's not. Well, I'm actually not far enough for it to be obvious what it is. But then there's also that I have some personal feelings that I had to work through or figure out where I stood in the matter. But yeah, it's artwork for one of our upcoming kits. But it is themed around a particular magical school and the students within. So I'll keep it at that for now. So books. Let's create some values here. Just some kind of guidelines for the different heights of the books. I'm not being too picky about how this works. It'll create something more interesting and I can always change it later. That's a little too much of the same shape there. Okay. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of stuff out there quite yet, similar vein. But I wasn't for sure, since this is like the third image that I have for this kit so far, I wasn't for sure how readable that was immediately. But I don't know, maybe I'm doing a good job if it was readable just from the little bits that's already there. But so this tablet that I'm working on is from XP Art or XP Pen. And it was a long time to figure out which one I was going to purchase. So I don't know how to say I'm poor without saying I'm poor. So we'll just stick with that. I'm not swimming in dough, as I'm sure most of us are not. So I had to find something that was going to fit my needs, but also be able to actually afford it and not completely screw myself in the process. So I just kind of sat around waiting for a long time before a tablet that fit my needs, did what I needed it to do, was cheap enough and quality enough to actually invest in. And then I think this particular model released last year. So this is the XP Art or XP Pen Artist Pro 15.6 inch model. If I could have swung it, I would have gotten something that had its own monitor mount, VESA mount on the back. So that's just like a television and computer monitor standard for mounting hardware. It has a specific set of dimensions that allow you to put it onto a thing. So this is actually on a gas spring arm, allows me to lift it up and down, move it back and forth, swing it out of the way, which is great. But because this one doesn't have a mount, I actually have it attached to a laptop shelf with a bungee cord. It works, but I'm not happy about it. But anyway, but yeah, so for the longest time I was working with a regular, I want to say a regular drawing tablet, but like a much cheaper one, a Wacom Bamboo series, which if I understand correctly, Bamboo is not in production anymore. So that's kind of a thing. Wacom's does still produce affordable tablets in that same kind of form factor, something that's off to the side, something that's cheaper than the Intuos, which is another one of those off non-monitor drawing tablets. But I could not swing spending $1,000 for the base entry model for a Wacom. Oh boy, I forgot what it was called. But the base model of Wacom drawing tablets on drawing monitors, it starts at $1,000, or at least it did last time I looked. Since I got this one, I kind of stopped looking. When I get to a point where I can afford one, I will switch over. And just because, as good as this one is, there are a few issues that have popped up. One in particular is that and maybe it's just Photoshop. Maybe it's not this tablet at all. One in particular is that it will stop responding as a pen. The pen will stop working on the tablet. It could also be a computer issue. There's the thing about computers, man. Any one of like a million different points can be where your issue is, and it's going to take you forever to find it. It's going to take me forever to find it. I don't know how computer literate you are. Maybe you're much faster and better than me, and that's awesome. But that ain't me. So I do my best. I try to research stuff, but sometimes you can't get them all. What was I even talking about? So what I'm noticing so far is a lot of these books are kind of the same width. Let's make a giant fat one right here. Just a big old chongus of a book. Those thick binding lines. So once upon a time, I watched a video from, was it Nerdforge? Dang it, man. No, I can't remember anybody. Can't remember nobody. Anyway, it's a nerdy couple from like Sweden or something. Anyway, for a long series, she did a bunch of bookbinding stuff. So I watched a bunch of those because those were dope. And so now I feel empowered knowing the structure, the internal structure of a book. I feel comfortable doing a thing. No, a big fat book wouldn't be. get another big old Encyclopedia Britannica full collection right there. So, I'm sure as an outsider who doesn't do this, well, now for me every day, who doesn't do this every day, this does look interesting, and that is awesome. For me, I'm a little concerned because I'm just drawing these horizontal lines. But in terms of what I could quickly scan over the descriptions of what I was drawing, it seemed the least, I guess the most viewer friendly. The other ones were a lot more complex, and maybe I might do something with those or get to those, but tell you what, the ability to be able to control alt delete has I have so much trouble with that word. It's changed my life forever, and it is so hard to go back to doing physical drawing on paper with a tool. No, see this, it's too much of the same thing. Another Chongus book right there. So I got one leaning there. I can't have another one leaning there. I can't. I mean, I can, but I can't. I know the word. I just can't say it. I can't say it fluidly. I can't just throw that one into, I don't know why. So what would the runners under a small desk like this look like in this kind of facility? Yeah, we're gonna put a chamfer on the table because that's just what you do. You put a chamfer on the table. So legs would probably be there. And then do another line there for that leg. So what? Do a little half circle deal here. That looks like it's in the middle. And we'll do a little scoop up here. Then we'll do one of these. Whatever one of these is. So that's already past the cut line. You're not going to be able to see what happens next. I'm just going to phone it in. Phone it in right there. Be lazy about it. I don't care. You want to know what hobbies I have? Like art isn't enough? No, okay. The issue with talking about my hobbies is that I have too many. I have too many. They're all so interesting, at least to me. And the only way I get to live them out is just by watching a bunch of YouTube videos of other people doing it. Okay. So, let's go into let's go into adjacent ones first. Let's just explore some adjacent hobbies. First off is painting. I like to do watercolors. Those look awesome. I don't have many paintings that I've done in watercolor because I don't have time. Just don't have time. We never have time. There's never enough time. Anyway. So I like doing watercolor. I like doing acrylics. Specifically those two because there's no like caustic chemicals. There's no smells associated with it. So they're easy enough to do on my own in a comfortable space. I'm clean enough and careful enough with them. I'm not really worried about getting paint on the floor or on my clothes. That's not to say that my workspace when I'm painting is especially clean. It's not, especially watercolors. Those things that water gets everywhere. That has more to do with the surface I'm painting on. I have a drafting table that I paint on, so my work's at 45 degrees. So, but it also has wheels, so anytime I barely tap into it, it like wobbles and spills my mixing water all over the place. It's great. Acrylics are fun, but honestly, I use acrylics more for miniature painting. That's another hobby, another expensive hobby at that, and another one that takes up room. So I have a bunch of I actually have a bunch of miniatures up here on these shelves that either need to be put together or painted. So I'm going to move on to the ink layer. So I'm going to change up my brush. For this one, I've decided to do, I've decided to use this technical pen. And if we'll just go over here real quick, I'm going to use the sizes. Okay, looks like it was a size 5 pen. And okay, so I got miniatures. I like to paint miniatures. That's fun. That's where I use most acrylics, is in miniatures. So I would like to stay zoomed out as much as possible. However, oh, I can totally do that. I just gotta rotate the canvas. Okay. So I didn't like that one. I don't like that one either, but I am getting closer. So there's a very different energy when it comes to doing inks. And what is not helpful is that your lines aren't showing up in real time. I'm gonna change the size of this pen. There we go. That feels a little bit better in terms of the size of it. Kind of this little bow right there. This thing's going to go in the path of least resistance. Nothing wants to work. Life doesn't want to work. If life can take the day off, it'll take the day off. That sounds weird. That sounds weird. But it's true. So, like, water will take the path of least resistance. Anything and everything will just take the path of least resistance. So, sometimes you just gotta let go and stop fighting. I have no idea what I just said. I mean, I remember that I said words, and I remember what those words are. I don't remember if there was a point to them. And this is the kind of brain space I enter when I start doing this jump. Whoop. Whoa. I gotta remove the pen before letting go of shift. And okay. That chamfer can't have a hard line because it's a chamfer. It's press hard for this line, give it some depth. Anyway, so I know I explained this earlier. I know I did. I don't remember doing it, but I know I did. I'm holding shift to do straight lines. It was not particularly crucial there, but might prove more crucial here. I should do this side. I can't see past my hand on the other side. That's the one downside to drawing on a tablet, is drawing on the screen. I can't see past my hand. If I'm drawing off to the side and just looking at a screen, there's no obscurement of my canvas, of what I'm trying to do. But the one-to-one correlation between being able to rotate myself around the canvas and rotate myself around the work is very useful. That's not completely symmetrical. Don't care. Moving. Actually, I do care a little bit, but I'm not going to redo it. So I'm going to zoom into this pot, this little inkwell, because I still don't know what I want to do with it. But I do need to get something going with it. So draw the left side first so I can look at it while I'm drawing the right hand side. Just a line there, right there. And then I want to crease here. Yeah, that's good. The impression of the inkwell being three-dimensional, and then back this down. Alt eraser, outline, continue here, and then just, I think that's good. Yeah. Okay. So another bit of, just like Control Alt Z to undo the last thing you did. Here's another thing that I love Photoshop for. So over here, I have the history panel, and I'm going to click on this last step. It records everything that I've done, and that's how I can continue to undo everything that I've done. Up to a certain point, you can only save so many different history states. Anyway, so I click on this little icon here. I don't know if you can see my cursor on the tablet view, but anyway. Oh, hey, look at that. You can barely see it. It's being hidden behind a little Spotify thing. Anyway, so it saves this particular state of my work, and I can just go crazy on it, and then switch over to the history brush and then just selectively erase what I want to get rid of. And it won't affect anything that I've already done that was on that particular history state that I chose. So I'm going to go back to that. And the reason why I did that was just so that I could draw a perfectly horizontal line right here across the book and match up with that side. And I picked up the brush, or I let go of shift before I picked up the brush. So drew through the book, oh, I hit the wrong key. Went into the text tool. And sometimes the text tool likes to take forever to come up, especially if you have a lot of fonts. But anyway, so I drew right through the book, and now I'm just coming back with the history brush and erasing the line that went through the book and through the inkwell. It's dope. Anyway. Oh, hey, there's a chair here. I completely forgot because it got mingled up in with the books behind it. We'll be able to fix that with color and with line weight. However, I'm using a technical pen. A technical pen just means that it has a consistent line. There is no weight to do this stuff. I mean, you can do it by going over it multiple times, and that's what I'm going to do here, is to separate the chair from the background. I don't really need to do it with the desk because there's a lot of empty open space with it. Whoop. You do that. And then, okay. Didn't have to erase that tiny little nub, but I chose to. So we're gonna bring this up. I have no idea what kind of chair this is. I feel like I've seen it before though, like in real life. Kind of a mustache. Got a mustache back. Let's kind of flare these out as they go down. Give it a little bit more character. We don't know where they're going or what they're doing under the table, but we know that they flare out as they do. Cool. Anyway, so coming in and going over these lines again. Make them a little bit thicker. And my computer doesn't want to draw the lines in real time, so we're going to draw shorter ones. All right, so there's that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the history brush so that I don't have to mess up what I've already done with the desk here. So here's another bit, is if I don't press the brush back to the canvas again before starting another straight line while holding the shift, it will do that. It'll connect to the point from the last place that I left off. It's weird. I don't know why it does that. But I have to touch the canvas again before I can do another parallel line. Hi, thank you for joining us. This is artwork for one of our upcoming kits, themed at with a back to school theme, but with a nerdy twist, a nerdy magical twist. Whoops, pulled that line too far. That's not part of my history state, so I'm just going to pull out the regular eraser. Anyway. My computer's not drawing these lines in real time, and there we go. I didn't touch the... Oh, hello. Letting go of shift before my brush finishes the stroke. So some of my lines will change from the sketch that I did before. That's fine. They can change. The sketch there is just to help build a foundation so I know where the final lines need to go. Yeah. See these little notches over here is when I'm letting go shift before the line finishes. But since they're outside of the bleed marker, I'm not really worried about it. Yeah, so what I'm doing right now, it's called inking, and it's just it's essentially tracing over the things with tracing over the sketch with the intended final lines. I'll go back here because look, if I don't clean this up now, I am very likely to forget, and then I'm gonna have to clean it up the hard way instead of the easy way with the history. There's no guarantee that I would forget, but there's definitely no guarantee that I'll remember. So, I want to thicken these lines up a little between the bookcases to kind of pull your eye around. Ooh, that's another thing. Composition. I have no idea. I was not thinking about composition when I drew this sketch. So I'm taking a moment to kind of look over that again. So this book leads you to this middle section. It kind of either pulls your eye up or down. These, well, if they end up being on the sticker, will pull you upward or outward. So I probably want to change this book to being leaning in, so that it draws you back to the chair. The chair will send you back up. I don't think I really need to do anything with the quill. So I don't think I'm actually going to change it all that much. But anyway. Oh, actually, before I get too far in there, so that's where I started. I'm going to put a history stamp on there, or save that as my history state, so that when I do this, I can go right through the shelf. Definitely go long time periods without saying anything. Even go so far as to forget that I exist. I stop being hungry. I stop being thirsty. especially easy when there's some cool music with a good beat to it. Doesn't pull me out of it. So sometimes when I really need to focus, right now we're listening to synthwave, but lo-fi, electronica, house, all different kinds of non-vocal music. Sometimes I'll listen to music soundtracks, but I listen to like epic music scores and whatnot. But usually that's more for when I'm in the writing mood. No, I just had a thought about how I might draw that book, but honestly, it's such a small detail. It'll end up so small in the final print that it's not really worth it to put that kind of thought into it. Two Steps from Hell definitely is among some of the music that I've listened to. I recently, I think it was last year or maybe late 2019, I rediscovered them and listened to a bunch of the newer stuff that had come out since the last time I heard them, which was around 2010. So there's a bunch of new stuff for me to kind of dig into. I do want to put a random item on the shelf, but I don't know what. Ooh. Maybe y'all can help me hide something on the on one of the shelves here. Whoop. Okay, got a bookend shaped like fairy wings. Any other suggestions on what I should hide on the shelves? wizard hat, huh? Hmm. Oh, the only thing I've put in this scene so far, aside from the fairy wing bookend, is just books. Hmm. So I'm about to save a new history state. Because I'm about to erase some stuff. So I don't know what kind of room I need yet. Whoops. Um, use history brush to bring back in the books I erased. Oh, I like that. Oh, some fireflies. You know what? There's a nice empty space here. Do that. So I'm going to leave this empty and I'll add them in when I do the color. Let's see. Well, I was going to stream until 9, but I want to keep on going until I get this wizard hat in. I was also hoping to get to the coloring phase, but I'll keep on recording after everything's said and done, and you'll be able to see that on excuse me, a time lapse, although I do not know when that actually happened, because right now we're kind of between places, so it's prohibitive for me to edit them, just because a lot of my time is spent doing artwork. But I don't want to have to rely on someone else to edit them, especially since I'm a lot more familiar with what the content is. So I could probably a lot quicker zoom around and find the good stuff instead of having to painstakingly sit through 40 hours of footage to try to find some. I mean, you can scrub the timeline and there's all sorts of, but there's 40 hours of footage on one kit because I recorded everything like a something, the person who doesn't think it out. Because okay, so I drew everything in Sketch first, and then I inked everything instead of working on one panel at a time, which is nice and friendly for an editor. But I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about how it would, but here's the other thing. What I didn't know when I was doing that was that I was killing my own motivation. I was not giving myself these peaks and valleys, because not every portion of this is entertaining or awesome or cool. Adding in little details in the inking phase is cool. Just sitting there and copying, tracing over my already sketched lines is not cool. I lost my train of thought. Neat. Oh, so by going over everything sketch first and then going everything in ink after that, I was taking away the fun for myself. That the thing that was going to be crucial for me to be able to keep on going. So, about that wizard's hat. Create a, where did I start? Here. So I'm going to erase these bits. Let's see, here's the thing though. This blue line is where the sticker is going to be cut. So I need to put most of this hat over there. Anyway. Give me more space. So let's see. I'm going to select this area, and then we're going to apply a mask, and then hide the sketch. So that's what you see of the hat. I don't like it. I don't like it because you can't tell it's a hat. I mean, even if I color it, you can't tell it's a hat. I don't like it. I'm gonna undo it. I'm gonna undo it all. By going up to the history state. Bam, undone. Huh. I don't know. Okay. I think I'm going to do something drastic then. I'm just going to fill in this bookshelf. Not that you'll ever see that line. Create a new history state. And bam! All the space. I got a little overzealous and I destroyed the book. I don't need the book to disappear. I need everything else to disappear, though. So, maybe more room. More room. I'm not sure what these lines are doing. Whoops. Okay. I didn't mean to go that far back. Lines here a little. Get these lines. Okay. I think that's it. So, been about an hour and 13 minutes. I'd like to go on. However, I do want to call it here. I'll be back next Tuesday to stream some more. But next Tuesday, by next Tuesday, this kit will have been released, and you'll get to see it in all of its glory. I hope. I know it'll be fun. But it's not as suspenseful if you know what's going to turn out all right in the end. So I'll see you next Tuesday, and we'll be working on something else. So